Hello, and welcome to my track guide for Vallelunga. This is for Assetto Corsa LFM with the Seat Cupra. This is how you basically do a sub 141, 141, or even just a bit of both. In this lap I got a 141, basically. No, in this lap I got basically the top of 140. But even 141s, low 141s will give you a good position in the split ones. So I'll show you. So for the last corner, or the setup for the qualifying lap, we just basically want to get back on the throttle on this sausage curb. But I'll show you when it comes to the end of the lap of how to set this corner up and stuff. But yeah, so just get back on the throttle of these sausage curbs in Vallelunga. Basically, you want to use sausage curbs as reference points for our accelerator, and we'll see later where the other corners. Where it comes in handy for the corners as well. Keep that in mind though. And for this corner, this fast right-hander, we keep it flat, do not lift. And basically we want to apply quite a lot of lock in the entry part of this corner, because basically we want to make the wheel, we basically want the car to do all the turning at the start of the corner, so then we can straighten out the wheel really soon, so we can get the most straight line speed for the rest of the straight. And you'll see basically now that I stay really tight to the right, and then sort of try and keep the wheel as straight as possible, and then run out to the right again after the left hand kink, but then obviously come back to the left eventually. You'll see what I mean when I do it. So as you can see, I'm staying really far to the right, even possibly touching the curb here. I wouldn't recommend touching it because we all know what AC curves are like, but you know, if it's possible, you can use this curb, but we want to stay really far over to the right. Temps, definitely a few temps gained if you do it right. Okay, for this corner we brake at the 100-meter board, maybe slightly bit before it, but basically a 100-meter board. We can fine tweak it in the setup that I'm going to provide you. Hopefully I can provide you. I'm not sure because my content manager links are not working, but if there isn't one, then it means it doesn't work. I will remember to try and put it on. But anyway, we're using the max brake pressure here, the max brake power for the setup. I've seen loads of setups and they basically put the brake at like 90 something%, so it's basically impossible to lock up. But then I feel like I have no brakes when I come into these high speed corners. You can brake to 100% in this car. It's just you have to trail off quite a lot, quite quickly. Like if you're from ACC and you were just trying out Assetto Corsa, then put the brake power down. But if you're used to Assetto Corsa coming from iRacing or R Factor 2, the brake technique is very similar in this car with the high brake pressure. So we stay over to the left here. We shift down to third gear. And basically we want to sort of prioritise slow and fast out, because this corner we really want to prioritise the long straight that comes after it. So slow in, fast out. We get back on the throttle as soon as we can, but we need to be sure that we don't run wide, which we'll see. Stay flat for this second part. I treat it as just one massive corner, even though it sort of seems like two. So if you set up the first right-hander properly, we can get the second right-hander flat out, and then we just carry the speed through the straight. Now we are beginning to approach our second, our braking marker. So it's the second post here, it's the 100-meter marker. And we're going to brake after it. I brake as soon as this exits my screen. So as soon as it goes through the A pillar, exits my screen, I know how to brake. But that'll be different for you, because obviously FOV, how far your seat is forward and stuff like that. But just you need to remember after it. But I don't mean 20 seconds after it. I mean very soon after it. There. Now I'm starting to brake. Third gear in this corner, or second, I can't remember. You'll see. And basically, again, we want to use the sausage curb for our throttle on point, because it's just, I don't know what it is with sausage curbs in this track, but they're very useful. We can use them for on throttle points basically, and we can take two lines through this corner. We can either U-shape it or V-shape it. I think in this lap I U-shaped it, but I was experimenting with the V-shape and it isn't slower, so we can use two different lines here, which is very nice. Yep, so second gear I take the U-shape this line, so staying close to the curb, and we use this curb for on throttle point basically. Just when we get before the curb, basically, we want to get on throttle. But what I'm doing here, you may be like, oh, why is he on throttle? We should always be off throttle mid-corner. I'm keeping my minimum speed up. This corner is very dependent on minimum speed. We want to keep that up, and because this car is not that high powered, if we give it little blips of throttle, it doesn't really make it understeer. Now, this is the most horrible corner of the track, I think, even though this track is amazing. I love this track. We use this end of the right line here, but then there's nothing here that we can use for reference points. I mean, I've only just spotted it now. You have an access road there. But I'd say what I do is I sort of try and gauge mid-corner. The midway between the curb and this white line. Oh yeah, this access road actually. That'll be perfect. Oh, there you go. We can use the access road as your braking marker. And first gear for this corner. Track limits are very lenient, so we can sort of afford to run out wide. On this left-hander, it's flat out. We basically want it just flat out wide, as slowly as possible. Because this car just hates turning and being on power when you're trying to get speed, because it's front wheel drive. So we approach basically it differently. On the front wheel drive are very understeery usually on power, but off power they're very, very, very weird. Especially this car, it's very strange. But I feel like once you get the hang of it, it's actually quite nice. So it's just about being very smooth on your brakes and rolling off them. Basically, trail braking mid-corner. Second gear for this corner, I forgot to decide braking marker. So the braking marker in this corner is basically when this rubber starts, or we can even use this access road again just before it. We shift down to second gear, and again we use the sausage curb here as our gauge to get back into power. Now for this brake, this hairpin even, we brake when we're level with this orange signpost with the marshal, or we can use the rubber line here again. So you got quite a few reference points here. You could even use the end of this green AstroTurf here. We shift down to first gear, and we sort of want to keep tight towards it, but I guess in a race we could sort of prioritize exit here. But I'm not. I would say just take this U-shaped line, make it simple. Then we get back on the throttle as early as we can, but we need to be very careful. This corner sort of tricks you into applying the throttle early, at least for me it does, so just be careful when you apply throttle here. Then we brush the brakes when we get to this corner here. We don't want to brake to 100%. This is not ACC, no digs aimed, but we don't want to apply 100% for every corner. We sort of want to vary it. So when we're sort of just trying to bleed off speed, we just ever so slightly brush the brakes, and you'll see here that I sort of brushed them, and it's basically just to get the car turned in, pointed in the right direction. And we sort of sacrifice this left-hander to set up for the next right-hander. You'll see what I mean. So stay in third, just brush the brakes, get it turned in, and then I'll tell you what's next. As you can see, I brushed the brakes though. We stay left, and basically if we set this up right, we can take this flat out, and that'll give you a few temps, to be honest. So it's very worth just sacrificing this corner to get the next corner right. I don't know the track name, I don't know the corner names. I mean, I've got them here, so SA, I guess. Now for this corner, the last corner, we basically brake at this 50 meter board, I think it is, and we don't hard brake, we just brush them again, just to sort of bleed off the speed to keep the car from understeering. And then we get back in the throttle on the sausage curb. So as you can see, the sausage curbs are very useful as gauge as to where to get back on the throttle again. And there you go, that was a sub 141. So for the setup, I'm not sure if my link will work. It's not been working for a long time now, but basically what we want to do is we want to slam the brake power to max and put the brake bias to 50%. I don't know why people put it higher, because it's not that touchy on the brakes. You just have to be quite smooth with how you release it. I think that if you go straight off the brakes and straight on the power, don't have any sort of gap, and that'll keep you from like getting that snap oversteer. But and then you want the front splitter on 1 and the rear wing on 0. And obviously if there is any traction control, I don't think there is, but just turn that crap off, we don't want it on. Just be very smooth, like very gentle on the car almost, and you'll definitely get a 141, even sub. And I know there's faster guys than me. I mean, I'm sure someone's probably run a 139, but this is just an easy guide to sort of get you up to speed and get a sub 141, which will definitely see you in split 2, pole position, basically every race. Right now, at the time of recording, and in split 1, it'll definitely get you very high up. I mean, the previous race that I just had, I absolutely bombed it, but sorry. The pole position was just about a sub 141, so this would have got pole if I got this time, but unfortunately I didn't because I'm very inconsistent. So thank you for watching. I hope you've learned something. I hope it was useful. If you want more of these sort of track guides, quick track guides, I will do them, but sometimes I'm just absolute crap on track, so I actually can't do them because I think I'd get bullied. So yeah, I'll do them for as many tracks as I can. But yeah, thank you.